Hello everyone, this is Zahid from Inspiring Net, and in this video I am going to cover one of the important question that has been asked to me many times. And I made this video many times too, because in last video I told my viewers that from the next time I am going to take them out of my computer room. But unfortunately I didn't like the quality before. So the important question is, several people asked me this question, and they asked me from different angles. The question is, if you have an M.Tech admission in hand, on the same time you have a job, what will you take? So to answer this question, I think it's not just pretty straightforward question. Like, I have a job and I have M.Tech admission, what would I select? The important question is, there are other social and financial responsibilities that you have on yourself, so that play a major role too. Apart from that, if you are clear with the life, you don't have an issue with social life, and if you don't have an issue with your financial life, and then you have to opt between the M.Tech and job. For me, based on my experience, what would I do is, like, whenever I do a degree, it's my basic criteria. Whenever I do a degree, I look into it, how it's going to add value to me. Like, for example, I have a job in hand, like in middle tier companies, like non-middle tier company. So if I do a master degree from certain college, which is going to happen, so does it put me in a situation where I can land in a better job than the previous one, than the job I have now? If the institute is not offering that kind of opportunity, I will never select it. Like, for example, if I have a job offer from TCS, Infosys, or some other tech company, and I have an M.Tech admission from IIT, so there is no doubt for me to select and go for IITs. There is no way that I need to think two times for getting into IITs. Because IITs bring much bigger companies in front of you, the bigger opportunities will come, and you will land into a very good job and position. But at the same time, if I am getting into NITs, and then at the same time I am getting a job into middle tier, very well known companies. So in this situation, what would I do is, I take a risk. I go for a job, because NITs won't land me. Mostly NITs don't land us into a position from where we can take up a big platform of big companies or something like that. So what would I do is, in this situation, I would like to go for the job for 2 years, and then after that I would try to look into the possibility of getting into higher levels of education. Like, for example, if I go into a job, I try to understand the practicality of the systems, and try to understand the system, try to understand the problems that is having, and then I would write GRE TOEFL and crack few of the best universities in the world, so that, like, when I go there, I gain much value than what I can get in terms of research and experience. What I can get in India, I get much better value outside India. I'm not encouraging you to go to outside India. It's just my personal view that, like, if you are exposed to a real-time problem, then when you're ready to solve that, you have a better chance of getting into top universities in the world. So what is my ultimate goal would be, like, if I get into IITs and I don't have a very good job, I quit and go to M.Tech admissions, because it will add value to me, value to my educational profile, and also it will definitely create an opportunity for me to go into give me a platform to compete for the best companies in the world. And on the same time, if I don't have a very good M.Tech admission, like, for example, if I have an NITs, and at the same time I have a middle tier company, so I will go for a job. Because if you are not cracking the best in education, it is most of the time it is like it will land you in the same situation. Like, for example, what situation you are in B.Tech, you will be in same situation after the M.Tech. So what is the use of doing M.Tech? If your ultimate goal is to go for a good job, and you're looking for a good job, and you have a job in hand, so I definitely recommend you to go for a job. Now a situation, for example, another very important question. You don't have a job, and you don't have M.Tech admission, what would you do? Do you need to go for M.Tech or do you need to go for job? So I think you need to go for both. Try to find a job. And you know why I'm saying doing job is better than going for M.Tech. M.Tech in not top layer institute is because you're exposed to a lot of problems which industry is facing, and finally at the end of the day when you collect that experience and you try to solve that can become your PhD. So that is the only point I am putting. Like for example, if I would have joined B.Tech after if I would have joined Samsung right after my graduation, B.Tech, not PhD, then the problems I would have solved for my PhD would have been more critical than the problems I solved in my PhD now. The reason for that is, like, when you're fresh and when you're new to the research, you don't have an idea about what's going around the world. So you totally depend on your supervisor. So when you depend on the supervisor, you have to do what he wants you to do. But when you are exposed to the problems before in the industry, then when you go to M.Tech admission, you first of all you select a professor who is working in the same domain, and at the same time who have a better experience, and at the same time you also have an experience. So you try to solve a critical problem in the real industry. So that would bring a lot more value than just studying something for the sake of a degree, or just studying something for the sake of like passing your time. So I think with this I made it very clear that what we have to do during the decision time when we have to make a decision like this. I also recommend you to think about the long-term goals you have, because many things depend on your long-term goals. Like for example, where do you want to land after 10 years is a more important question than like what I do next immediately. So if you have a clear idea about like after 10 years, like for example, after 10 years I am doing this, why not do it in that direction? Why not we go in that direction from right now? So that is the much better question. And I tell you one thing, like when you have your vision and your views clear, everything around you would help you to get there. And every action you do and every opportunity you get will lead you towards that direction. I think I have cleared this question very well and in this video. And I ask you to drop a comment if you have a question, or write an email to me. On the same time, I would like to ask you to subscribe to InspiringNet and subscribe to InspiringNet YouTube channel, like us on Facebook so that you can get all the updates on it. I hope you find this useful and wish you very good luck with this. Thank you for watching the video.